Hello everyone! The spring is not yet everywhere. Somewhere we still have some cold. And today we are doing the review for Silver and Cold that feels fitting to this whole situation with the early spring, relatively of course. But I think that is very interesting collection. We have a whole collection. Big thanks to Dieverune Cosmetics for sending it to me in PR. This is a lot of products. There are lots of products and this is very interesting, the collection by itself. Here is how the palette looks. We will touch everything. We will touch all the shimmers, all the singles, all the lip glosses, everything, absolutely everything that we have in this collection. It's huge and this video is going to be very big. If you're interested to know what I will create, and this is going to be interesting, trust me. My name is Val and let's begin. So it's me again. Very weird to start something when something else is not finally finished. So I still have some stuff in my pockets basically, but I have to do something in the meantime. So let's just begin, and it's gonna be a big video again. I'm not sure if I'm actually telling something in the intro because this is still past me, not the future me that is in the intro itself. So bear with me and my speaking for now. I am going to start with the palette today. This is a Dieverune Cosmetics Silver and Cold. This is how the palette looks. I'm also wearing the moth earrings today from Punk Youth, and I think we will be getting a bit of double-sided, let's say. So I want to connect the green with blue and then the pink with gray. So that's the idea, at least, that I want to have. I'm not sure how many things, how many colors and etc. I will use, but I want to try it out. So I'm just preparing a bit of stuff. I'm not fully sure how I will approach this, but first things first I want to do is to actually outline whatever is gonna be. I want to have my kind of design that I have in mind outlined on the eye so that I can have a reference to where place my things. And for that I'm using pencil, the eyebrow marker actually from Shea Glam in the shade the Taupe. It's not as dark as it's not too dark, so it will be good. I usually prefer to use like lightly brown pencils to outline things on my eyelids, kind of guidelines for this kind of scenario, and this sketch will be just a good opportunity to start, let's say. So I'm going to begin with the light colors. Once I'm done with the sketching, I want to have like a couple swooshes basically on the eyelids, and from there we will go. So these colors, this palette doesn't have names for the shades, so I'm just gonna call it by the columns. In the column we have gray, pink, blue and green, and I'm starting with the light green. It's a bit neon-y color, and as far as it's pastel, I usually have a bit of troubles with pastel not sticking to my eyelid. Ideally you need to have like a sticky base to touch this color properly, but I don't want to dive into it right now. I'm not sure I would like it, and also it's not part of the review usually for me, so I'm gonna just go with it how it is, like normally would be going with a regular user. So it's gonna be the first part of my eye. It's from the inner corner up till the center, and this almost the same stuff I repeat on the bottom lid so that I can have it there. And the second part of the eye will be the shade next to it, and it's the light blue, or more like a turquoise color. And I'm also with a big fluffy brush, basically semi-flat but not too flat. I'm just applying it and trying to blend things together. They are actually quite nicely blending together, but you need quite a lot of this pale green shade, the pastel green, because, well, you are facing the trouble of pastels. Yeah, as I said, it's just not sticking to some areas for my eyes specifically. I'm not sure if it's like my real problem or if it's actually the shade. We will figure it out a bit later, but for now I just have to stick with it, ironically. Yeah, pun was not intended. And once I'm more or less happy with the whole blend, I also bring it to the areas that actually is not supposed to have it, but should kind of have it anyway, because it's much easier to just go over everything and then cut out sometimes. So that's the approach I will take today. And then I will go into the dark blue shade with the small brush. The tiny brush will allow me to kind of place it there and slightly blend, like not too much, not too little, but I'm gonna outline exactly the stuff that we've been outlining with the brow pencil first. So the blue is kind of darkening part in here. It also blends very nicely with the other colors. I'm generally enjoying how it works, and I like the shades of it. It kind of gives me a sea siren situation in this case. I'm blending the outlines to the bottom from the line, but I'm also kind of keeping it in the center. I'm just trying to go over whatever the line I have, and also the liner area and the bottom lash area. Once I'm going to the bottom lash till the approximately center of the eyelid, I'm switching to a slightly bigger brush and the green shade, dark green shade, because this will allow me to just have a bit more depth. And I also want to bring it into the lid, so I'm just kind of setting things in there and yeah, enjoying the process. Once I'm more or less happy, I will blend it a couple times more with blue and green, but I think it looks actually good and it blends nicely. It works generally, so I'm pretty happy with everything so far. I think we can go into the cleaning in this regards, and the cleaning will be done first with the micellar water. So I'm using Bioderma Sensibio or Hydrobio in this case, and I'm taking a small applicator for the lashes. I'm just gonna dip my applicator into the micellar water and micellar. I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly, I'm sorry. So into Bioderma and just cut out kind of the areas which I outlined previously. So it's not rocket science, you just already have these cutouts, you just need to clean them up. Once I'm more or less happy with how it looks, I think we can go into the cream shade, because self-setting creams are a wonderful thing, and I bought myself all 4 cases from Mitchell. So Made by Mitchell has cream cases. They are called fards, and they are self-setting cream textures. You can use them for everything. It's a multi-purpose product. It doesn't matter how exactly you use it, you can just use it, which I enjoy it for. It also can be a base for eyeshadow. Sometimes it prevents things from leaking further if you put it into the waterline. So I'm gonna take the lightest shade from the neutrals, because it's not exactly white, but it's not exactly skin tone yet. So just the lightest shade. They are slightly dry in my scenario, because cream products can dry out, even in the packaging, if you store them properly. But the good thing is that you can mix it with the Duraline by Inglot and just get yourself a very nice sturdy mix of things. And you can also make it as creamy or as liquid as you want, which means you can also turn these fards and cream products into liquid products, liquid liners, for example, which is kind of cool, because these things are working almost like water activated liners, but they are actually not gonna run if you cry. They are very sturdy. So I'm gonna take the shade, mix it up, and apply first with the same spatula that I mixed it with, and then I'm switching to a small brush, like a lip brush, something like that, and blending outsides. I'm just trying to keep the color within the lines and blend the outside area. So I'm just pressing the brush a bit more when I'm blending outwards. And the same stuff I'm gonna repeat on the other side, on our liner area. And I'm gonna also take this same shade into my waterline. It's gonna be very bright waterline today, and that's about it. I also want to add a small element in the front, because it's kind of missing there. It's not like completely missing, but I think it will look nice in there. And I'm just taking a small brush, like a very thin one for the art. I'm using nail brushes or artistic brushes. I'm not using anything that is provided as the liner brushes because it's horrible and thick. But nail art and art brushes are great. And I'm just doing the swoosh, a little one, just to in the front here, so it's kind of there. That will be the idea of the matte look in this case. As I said, the pastels just disappear. That's happening. That's a specifics of pastel. But okay, never mind. Now we can go into the shimmers. I've actually tried a bunch of shimmers already with my fingers, but ultimately I decided to stop on a couple turquoise-ish shades. Most of them are actually going into pink or something like that, somewhat. So the very top mint shade I'm gonna take all over the lid. I don't actually see it right now duochroming or anything, but maybe it is. So this will be the first one, and I'm dragging it from the inner corner up till the very end of this whole blue blend between the darker lines. And then I'm gonna take this first one that it belongs to the grays. I'm gonna tap it onto the center to kind of have more impact there. It's a bit more flaky, but it's fine. And the last one I'm thinking about is the turquoise blue, the one in the blue column. And I'm gonna apply it with the silicone brush onto the areas where I have the darkening. So I'm not going over everything, only applying it to the areas where I have darkening and to the bottom lid. And that will conclude the makeup. I feel really like a siren. I don't think I will be able to reproduce that one-to-one, but I hope I can do at least something. And I need a liner here, definitely. I think something black will work, like a soft black probably, so not too harsh. And once I'm done with that, I will come back to you with the finished look. This is what I'm turned out to be, more like a deep sea siren almost, but more of a lake, river, something, siren, mermaid. I do enjoy the eyes. It's looking awesome. And the makeup itself, like the shapes, how it was working, the foiled main shade that is a duochroming right now into turquoise that fits perfectly into this look. The blue and greens, I enjoy turquoise and mint and all of these colors. It's looking great. It's not going anywhere so far. I don't have really problems with creasing. Also, I've been using the Maria makeup by Maria as a base, and on this one it was just pretty good because it's a kind of a mousse and it just turns into powder. So you apply it as a souffle kind of texture. It's not really liquid. I don't like liquid eyeshadow. And it turns, you just tap it off or you just blend it on the lid and it turns into powder. And on top of that, anything pretty much works nicely. So you don't have to have an additional base or anything. You can blend the eyeshadows right on it. The initial blending, I think was pretty good between the two lightest shade. Then the darker shades just get into it, but sometimes it can get stuck or you can remove more than you need. So I would assume it's like a half pigment in terms of work with it. So if you apply it pure, it probably will get stuck in that place and it will be harder to move. But if you apply it on top of something, then it's much easier to blend. I did not find any problems with the darker shades either. I think the graphics turned out really good as well, and generally it looks and works absolutely fine. The downside is that this light green shade that we have here, this one, is actually kind of a pastel shade and you need a lot of it and it doesn't want to stick. So you need a white base ideally. For example, the Lock-In base by Day Day Signature. This is pretty good. Or the Color Case by Mitchell, cream base like this would also work. So you need a base, a sticky base ideally, in order to pack this shade on to have the actual effect. If you want it just for blending out things here and there, then it's absolutely normal without anything, and you can use it like that. But if you want an impact, you need a sticky base. That's a general rule for working with pigments, I would say. At least that's what I understood through working with them. If you want it to stay in place and be really impactful, you need to pack it on top of the base. Sticky base, specifically. So, for the shimmers, I used the main shimmer is very foily, best to be applied with fingers. It's really smooth, it's really blendable, like a buttery kind of shade. I don't have creasing with it. I'm totally fine so far, but as I said, my eyelids are not really prone to oiling too much, and I also used Makeup by Mario as a base. So I love how it just turns into blue, turquoise blue something. I think there are more shades in it, but I don't see it right now, and also on my eyelids it probably won't be seen much, so that's what we have at least. The shade I placed in the center, pretty much not seen, and kind of just silver and just somewhere there. You can probably see the silver line here, but that's all that's left from the shade. And the blue, you apply it as compacted sand. If you take a kinetic sand and try to make a flake out of it, that's what it probably gives me as a texture. So I applied it onto the blue areas, the darker blue areas, and it sits there, so it can glue to the place and stay there, and it's actually like workable. So no problems with that. I'm totally fine with this kind of scenarios. And on the bottom lash line, really sparkly one, also that shade. So far so good. I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm very happy with the look in general. I think it's working nice, even though I'm again not best at symmetry, but the shape, the colors, just enjoyable. To make a bit more contrast and to bring back life into this look, I could have gone with the gray contact lenses. Then it would be more character, because then it will look more like a deep water mermaid, underwater mermaid. All of them are technically underwater, but whatever. Would have looked more like mermaid if I used especially the bright gray or blue lenses, but I chose brown ones because I absolutely love how these shades look on brown eyes. This is my favorite thing. I cannot do anything with myself. This is what it is. And I just enjoy how the brown eyes look with blue and purples and greens, like these darker greens. Just looking so good to me. Cannot do anything with myself, so excuse me. Sorry about that, but this is where we are. And I also used the cluster lashes and of course this case, color case, neutrals. And it's supposed to be all white shade, but I think it's not actually that white. It's more of a, well, it is kind of white, okay. White and black we have here, and white and black we have in the other case. Very good stuff, just saying. In the European website it costs like 16 euros right now. I bought it from there. It's working. I love it in the waterline. It just prevents everything from smudging. This is another one that I got for 16 euros. It's so freaking nice. I'm just generally enjoying this stuff. I don't know why, but this one is more gray actually than it seems. At first when I saw it, I thought it's gonna be more like blue, but it's not that blue. It's nice. I love it. Moving on through the collection so far, I used the shade Grim Frost as a highlighter. It's working nicely. I like how it's like this icy tone and it's very smooth looking. It does give a highlight almost like a wet highlighter. So it's double colored, as you can see, and I used both. You can use only one if you want. One is more warm, one, well, it's not actually warm, it's a cold collection, but one is more rosy and one is more teal silver kind of, also matching to this eye shade that I have. On my lips today I'm wearing the shade of Gloomy Gloss Obsession. This is a perfect mermaid gloss. It's very nice formula, but it's very hard to apply. It's not even, and it gets into all the cracks on your lips. I don't have any injections in my lips, and because of that it's not really smooth, so it's like natural textures of the lips, and it just gets in there. When you look up close, it's all in there. The Beetlejuice lips trend, do you remember that? That's what it creates, but with a gloss. You can blend it, like you smack your lips a couple times, it's getting blended, but it's very uneven. Still, it's very uneven. For the character makeup or for some grungy, more like more towards some direction, not for everyday use, but some directional use, this is great. I like how it just creates this moody stuff. But for daily life, I would not take it. It's very hard to apply, and this applicator, despite looking really nice, it's actually not applying much. So you have this little dot, and all that it applies is that dot. Maybe on completely empty lips it will be better, but still the distribution is a bit off. I applied everything with the brush. So on the brush you pick up as much as you need and just tap it in the places where you need. So that works wonderful, and I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not really applying or reapplying gloss throughout the day, so for me it's not an issue at all. But for some, if you're taking it for something specific, if you are more gothic in general life and in that direction, this might be a bit patchy, let's say. Actually, I was struggling what to choose for this look because all of them actually fit here. I feel like they all kind of have this moody tone, and they are called moody glosses, to be honest. We also have Melancholy Lip Mud, and this one is also very pretty. I love such shades. It's bluish gray. I'm just really into it. I don't know why. It's not the daily stuff, of course, but still. And then we have again black and white gloss, but they are without holographic or duochrome sparkles. It's just pretty uniform, let's say, in the texture. But this is the same scenario as with Cryptane that I posted not long ago. Yeah, I still do like both of them. I still need to try them, of course, but this is where we are right now. We have a bunch of things still in this collection. I have this flaky gels, which I'm not sure where to apply right now. Like, I have the idea they can be applied in the center, they can be applied as a very interesting texture for the cheeks and stuff, but it's still hard. We also have another highlighter, and we have 4 single shades. I'm not sure if I will be able to include the single shades into this review. They are looking great, but I feel like I might be doing separate looks with them, which will be more like shorts. I'm not sure if I will be able to do them in time for this review to come out, but anyway, I will touch them, and I will probably link them or relink the videos together so you can see at the end. So yes, so far so good. I am enjoying everything so far. It was a pleasure to film, it's a pleasure to work with, and I really enjoy the brand, you know, and I enjoy the owner of the brand as well, to be completely honest, because not many people actually believe in somebody who's like small and on the other side of the world. It's tricky in this business, let's say, but I am really drawn into this. I did not think that I will be that much, but working with that, just getting some creativity, I'm happy. On this note, I've been talking too much, and what else do I have on my face? NARS. NARS slightly reflecting in Oslo and Mont Blanc. It's more or less okay, but I would prefer to add a bit more weight into it, but I am trying to kind of finish both of them. Then Sephora contour stick, whatever is left in this bottle. And then I have, so as I said, I wanted to give this look a bit more life. That's why I chose more of a brown contact lenses. And that is why I chose also the blush. The blush today is Chestnut Flush by Sheglam. This is a cream blush. I enjoy applying this through the hand. So you just twist it up, you just do this a couple swipes, and then with a brush you apply it to the face. It's looking great. It's self-setting, which is really nice, and I like the color. I have this tendency, as you may know, to pair like a peachy colors with blues and greens, and yeah, that's just what it is. Then as a highlighter, as I said already, I have a Grim Frost, and on my lips I have also Makeup Forever in Endless Cacao to have a base for the green gloss, to just have an outline so it will not run away too much away from me completely, let's say. So, but so far, that's all I have. And that's all I have for you for today, really enjoying the makeup. Really, it's so pretty to me. Like from the creative perspective, from the art stuff. I don't care if the makeup suits me. If I like it, I like it. That's what it is. Okay, so for now I'm done. I'm completely cooked for today, and we will see each other tomorrow in the new makeup look. It's me again, and we are going to do some gray and pink. I think I would go into the direction of graphic this time as well. I'm not sure if I will actually do something that is like complicated. Probably not, but the previous idea, I think I will just expand on it and try out something very similar, but not exactly the same. So I wanted to show you that I have almost finished my Too Faced lip injection. I actually really like this lip plumper because it works, but it doesn't give me pepper feeling. So the VT Cosmetics usually gives me a lot of pepper, and I don't like it because I like to lick my lips from time to time, and this is horrible to taste. Let's say it like that. And due to that, I would like to have something like this, and I think I will repurchase this one. It's practically the only one thing that I'm actually repurchasing from Too Faced, or and generally having from Too Faced. So there's that, and now we are going into our makeup. So I will start with the light pink all over the lid. It pretty much will be my base, like nothing crazy is happening here, and I'm just adding a bit of interest. It doesn't change with my skin tone, so like it kind of matches my skin tone. That's what I wanted to say. I feel myself a bit boho today because of the earrings and stuff, and kind of a bit weird. So pink go first, then I will go into the darker pink, which is like a plum color, and I will be doing the outline. I'm starting with the inner corner, going under the brow, and then doing the swoosh. I'm not sure if I will keep the second part of the swoosh. Probably I'm not liking it too much, so I'm gonna refine this a little bit just to draw it a bit better, and I changed at the end whatever I created at the beginning. It's very high up the brow. Actually, if I wouldn't have had a brow, it would be better. Maybe I need to actually remove my brow here with just a bit of white mascara or something. And I'm going to blend this pink onto the lighter pink because that makes sense to me. And I will continue it like that. Once I'm more or less happy, I'm going to the bottom lid as well. And bottom lid will be like outlined. The lid itself, basically, I'm outlining like in Korean makeup or Asian makeup in general. They really like this stuff. I don't know why, but it kind of looks cute. So let's repeat it here. And I'm just blending it in. On the top lid, I'm blending it inside, and on the bottom lid I'm blending it outside so that we can have it all covered. And then I think I will go to the darker gray just to kind of give a bit of a depth to the edge. And I also want to add it into the liner. Liner will be probably black here, but just so you know that I actually went into gray. It's pretty nice in darkening the shades. The gray itself is actually muting the colors, so if you are muted, maybe something gray as a mixer will actually be very good for you. So next I will go into the light gray. Light gray has a bit of a blue tone to it, and I'm placing it onto the bottom lid into the opening that we created. And I think I will go into the inner corner slightly, not too much, but just to have it there, and maybe to the center of the lid as well. And now we can carve out whatever is left. So I'm taking the white base and the micro applicator, just a dot of the base. It can be even smaller, so I'm just gonna carve out the edge that we created with our gray. This is a bit of a weird design. I'm not the best at hand painting this kind of things, but it's okay. I can live with that. And now, once I'm more or less done with everything, we are ready to go into our shimmers. I think I will dive directly into the center shade. It doesn't have a name, but let's go into it. And just apply it with a finger all over the lid. So I'm tapping it on. It's very dry, I want to say. It's very sparkly and very dry. Kind of interesting, so it's not oily at all. And next I'm thinking about adding the very right shade under the green ones because it turns into pink from teal, and I think I will leave it on top of the gray and in the corner, so I have a bit of an interest in there. And also same story, this shade is more of a dry one, very smooth by the way as well. And we have the rose gold, which we can apply somewhere, for example into the center here and maybe to the outer edge. So it's a rose gold metallic, and I think it also shifts to yellow, but I don't see it right now. Maybe it will be seen on the in a different way. So far so good. I think I'm pretty happy with everything. I need a liner, a dark black liner as usual, and I kind of decided to create the serious. Probably next look should be simpler and more efficient in these terms, but let's see. I think I also want to do something with a smoky eye or something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna do the stuff and come back to you with the finished look. This is the look. I feel myself a bit like a ice dragon, you know, because of the flakes. So I just bite the bullet and I added the flakes. They are called fluorescence flakes, also from the same collection, and it's kind of that very well-known pigment with a yellow base and blue to purple duochrome. It's almost invisible when you are looking away from the light, so on the eyes when you are adding it into the makeup it's absolutely okay, but on bare skin as a highlighter, for example, only warm tones will be able to wear it. This is how it looks. It's a gel with the flakes and it's actually pretty decent. It dries fast on the lids when you apply it, so you have to be careful and quick figuring things out with it, but when you actually like dab it on, and in a very short time it just dries and everything is good with it. So I am quite enjoying it in this look. I added it into the brows and I added it into the center, as you can see, so this gives me kind of the scales of a dragon situation feeling. And under the eye I also have it. It's cool. It's not for kind of everyday use, but anything that is a carnival, festival, this kind of stuff, Halloween, it's a really cool thing. But I think that you need to buy it precisely for the time, because with time, I'm gonna track it, but I think with time it's gonna dry down. This one arrived slightly leaking already. This one is called Shiver Flakies. Shiver Flakies. This one is blue silver, as you can see. It's very nice looking in general. It's also multi-chroming, but yeah, it's gonna dry down and it's flakes. You can revive that, so that's not a biggest issue. You can use, for example, the Ingla Duraline to revive that, to add a back life to it, but yeah, you have to be careful. And these leads are actually not doing much, unfortunately. It needs to be something else. I have the same stuff with Dieverune Cosmetics, a fixing gel, and it completely dried out in the jar for me once. So I'm not risking, and I think it's the same kind of jars. This one is also drying slowly, even though it was almost untouched. So this is how it looks. I did not use much of it, honestly, and it just dries. So these leads are not tight enough. So I would assume these flakes, as you can see, only the lid itself is different. The flakes will dry as well. At least that's the assumption. I will let you know in some of other videos in the future if that will happen and in which period of time I will notice that it will happen. But to keep it better, you can store it in the fridge. That's about it. That's all I got as an information. So, on the lids we have a very nice combination of things. I really liked how the mattes work. The matte shades are okay for me because I am quite muted, I would say, and I do enjoy this looks, this shades, this whole situation here. I'm pretty happy with the outcome, more or less okay with symmetry today, and generally I think it turned out really nicely. And it doesn't want to crease so far, but I had a weird kind of application of one of the shades, the center one, that we touched all over the lid, and here it starts to kind of go into the little crease. It's fixable just like that. but you have to be aware of that as well, just so you know. It may, but usually it doesn't. But also I don't have oily lids. This is all the information I wanted to tell you about this whole thing. So slightly mint, slightly pink, slightly gray. Hair up, feeling like a dragon. Boho dragon for some reason, but okay. So this is what we have with the look. Also today, from the same collection, I'm wearing the Frostbow highlighter. So it's a very nice wet look as well. I don't think they're that different between each other, but one is a split highlighter and one is a mixed highlighter. This also has a bit of a marbling kind of situation, and you can grab a bit more of a pink or a bit more of a blue, and you get the idea. You get the same outcome in the highlighter itself. I see separate sparkles, but I also see this wet effect, which is more prominent than separate sparkles. But I like it, actually. Especially to this look, the whole thing, the whole silver theme is very much up my alley, so I'm enjoying it. And for the lips today I have the Hoarfrost, and this is a gloomy gloss, and it's a bit of how to say, pearly, I guess. You can see that it has like tiny shimmering particles. You don't see it from afar, but up close when you are looking like in a mirror or something, you can see them. It also gives it a slightly milky overall look, so if you enjoy milky glosses, that can be something for you as well. The texture is nice, but it's runny. So it's just a regular gloss. It's nice formula, like a regular formula, nothing too special in it, and it looks pretty. It also is a bit more opaque, not opaque, but kind of like, it's not patchy. When you apply it, the previous one, the green one, was kind of patchy when you apply it. And it goes into the lip creases, lip lines very quickly. This one kind of is okay, but you have to be careful and you have to wear liner. Otherwise, it's just... Also the same situation with the applicator. This applicator is slightly weird. You still need to like kind of go into it to get the decent amount. So I'm applying it with a brush at the end. I'm just taking the applicator, swiping the brush over it a couple times, and this is how we do. Because I like gloss to be a bit more on the lips. But if you're okay with a very thin application, then this is totally sufficient. This is the same applicator like Dior lip oil has. Like our Dieverune Cosmetics, I believe, also has the same kind of thing. And you can get enough to cover, but it will not be good looking and very thick when you are applying it over something. So empty lips, totally okay. This one also doesn't require like a mirror to have with you. So just quick reapplication, pretty good. So I do enjoy this one. It also kind of fits the overall theme, in my opinion. And that's so far everything that I wanted to tell you about the products from the collection for this look. I'm really into it. It's just a bit of creative process for me, a bit of art, and I think I still need to do something less creative. Also, have a look in my mirror. I bought myself a flower nose mirror. This is from the Bunny Baby collection, Bunny something. So it's 16 euros. I thought it's gonna be the size of my face, but unfortunately it's not. I wanted to cover it I wanted to cover myself completely with it, but it did not happen. It has a heavier top and a bit less heavy bottom. I prefer usually when the balance is a bit different, when you have a handle that is nice to grab, and then you have a bit lighter top, because this one wants me to just, you know, bonk. But it's okay. I can live with that. It's cute after all. This is my second product from Flower Nose. The only other thing I have is blush from Angel collection. I'm just not that much into like maximalism kind of thing. Yeah, so far so good. That's all I have for the collection, for the fancy stuff. What else do I have on my face? I told you I'm gonna be finishing this up. This is Oslo and Mont Blanc by NARS Light Reflecting. Very cool looking foundation. If you're searching for a foundation that lays nicely, this is one. Also House Labs is another one for me. I cannot speak for all skin types and stuff. My skin is not really oily. Right now I'm more like normal skin with an oilier T-zone, but it's not that prominent. So I'm not really dry, but I'm not really oily, kind of balanced right now, more or less. So I do enjoy House Labs, and I do enjoy NARS Light Reflecting, one of my favorite foundations so far. Then I have a Sephora contour stick. As I said, I'm gonna be finishing up this baby in no time. Almost nothing left here. I'm already scraping it. I have Dream Walk by Kaleidos as my blush today, because I thought that it kind of matches. It's slightly more pink and, you know, looks good, looks pink. A bit more pink maybe than I should have gone for, but still. The highlighter I told you about, and the pencil is actually this one, the Mistais 776. And I think it's made in Czech Republic or something. Yeah, it's made in Czech Republic. And a very nice color as well, slightly purple. I do enjoy this color. This is a good dupe version, like just generally good version of a pencil, Jeffree Star Scorpio. I used to have this pencil, but I'm not using anything from Jeffree Star anymore, and I'm replacing the things, you know? So this one is a good option. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm really happy with the outcome. I'm really happy with how everything turned out, how everything looks. I do enjoy everything so far. But as I said, we need to do something maybe gray tomorrow, because we also have this sparkle that we did not touch yet, and I want to incorporate it into something, maybe some sparkling liner or something like that. I don't know yet, but I will figure it out. It's a bit more like a special shade from Pat McGrath. I only have one palette from her, and it's not a big box thing, not Mothership palette, but Bridgerton collaboration 6 pans, and one of the shades is special in there, and it has the same texture. That's it. So far, so good. I'm really into everything, as you can see. So yeah, I will continue exploring tomorrow. Today I'm out, so we see each other for you in a moment. So I'm back, and today we're doing something ethereal. I'm thinking about something soft, something slightly blended, nothing graphic this time, just a bit of mixing, because I want to try to mix purple. There is no purple in this palette, but we have pink and blue, which means we can, in theory, mix up the purple. I already have my Makeup by Mario base on my eyelids, and I'm going to start with the light green shade under the brow and slightly around the eye. So it will be kind of setting there, maybe in the center as well. I just want to have something like what I did with the Narimi palette. So something in that direction, something really soft and ethereal. And grain first. Next I'm gonna tap in with the brush directly into the blue and pink. So both. I think I need a bit more pink than blue. So ideally picking up a bit more pink and then tapping slightly into the blue to create the shade. And as you can see, it slightly mixes into something purplish. Not like completely, you still have more of a blue in them, but it's working for me personally, so I will take it. So I'm just adding it to the outer V. I'm kind of trying to define this V shape and just to have it there, and I'm not going to blend outwards too much. I'm also bringing it to the lower lid so I can have this defined outer corner. Next one, I'm gonna mix the lighter shades of the same, so a bit more pink and a bit, basically a tap into the teal to create somewhat blending shade of the purple, and I'm going to apply that onto the edges of this whole bluish purplish scenario. I think it will look really nicely, and I am so far quite happy, to be honest. Then I will take gray. Gray will go into the inner corner. It's also going to be my blending shade for the very outer edges of this whole makeup look. But gray has a slightly blue tint to it, and which I really enjoy, and I think it will look great here in the inner corner. It's not going to be too prominent, but it's nice to have it there. Then I will go back to the green. Green is gonna go into the center. I have a bit of a problem with this pastel green because without the base it doesn't seem to be very opaque and prominent, and sometimes I really want the payoff, you know, sometimes. But sometimes it's okay to have a very subtle and soft shade as well. And we obviously need to outline this a bit with the green, because that makes sense to me. The darker green I'm taking with just a brush, pencil brush kind of outlining slightly. It doesn't have to be blended properly. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just a tap, just a little bit of color. I'm having artsy time today. And once I am done with that, I think we are ready to go into our shimmers. In the palette itself, I think we are left with only the darker sparkling shade. So we kind of touched already all others, and I want to try to dive into the singles. So I will start with the shade Quicksilver. It's a very nice looking shade. I'm applying it with a silicone brush into the inner corner and onto the bottom part on the lower lid. So the outer part of the bottom lid, so to say. Then I think I will go with the shade Sterling on my finger. I'm tapping off the axis slightly onto my palm, and then going on top just to have a bit of a silver sparkle, but nothing too crazy. At this point, I'm thinking that it may be worth to add another shade, which is called Silver Lining, and I also will just tap it slightly onto the outer edge. It will give me a bit of a green in duochrome and a bit of yellow actually in the direct light. But as far as it's the outer edge of the eye, there is no direct light, and we will have mostly green, which is exactly what I wanted. And to top it all off, I think I will go into the shade Shiver Flakies. I'm also using the silicone brush here. It will just allow to tap it on nicely. And I'm going all over the lid and trying to be a bit more precise with where I place them. They remind me of the, kind of the broken mirrors, like tiny specks of mirror that was broken into parts, and it's just looking so interesting and so nice. I'm really into it so far. I'm really happy with the outcome at this point, and I think I only need to add a bit of a black liner to here as well, and I will be done for this look. Very quick and easy, very artistic as well, but not too graphic, so kind of simple to create. So let me finish up whole look, and I will be back with the full face. This is my final look, and I'm so into it. Super happy how it turned out. I added these little flakies, shiver flakies. It's like little mirrors. It's like little ice crystals that are on your eyes. It's absolutely magical. Everybody needs to try it at least once. I applied it mostly onto the outer perimeter of the eye, so it kind of creates this little stars, ice shards, something. It doesn't get much on the moving lid, so my semi-hooded eyes can just stay normal and the flakes are not gonna flake away from them. And I think it just looks so magical. It's like the real life magic outside of Hogwarts, this kind of saying. I'm really into this. I also added a bit of a a bit of butterflies because I was thinking about fairies and stuff related to it, and I'm just super happy with how everything looks, how it works. It's just a winter snow queen something. Very pretty. I'm enjoying it to the maximum. I really liked how the the mattes worked. I do have a kind of hard time with the mint one, the very light one, pastel shade, because it requires a base. If you apply it without a base, it will almost be unnoticeable, because look at how light it is. It's just like kind of disappearing into the skin and you don't see much of it anymore. But it still looks pretty, and if you are looking into this makeup from the macro perspective, then every color can be still visible. I'm loving how they blend. I love that I created the purple, even though it's more of a bluish purple, kind of indigo in this direction, but it's still a purple, so they are mixable with each other. They are absolutely normal working, and I am just happy. Now let's talk about the shimmers here. So the Quicksilver is in my inner corner. It's a lavender dream oval shade because it's just so pretty. It has little tiny colorful sparkles, so there is a pink, there is a bit of a blue, there is a bit of lavender. Everything just looks so nice. The base is super pretty as well. I'm just really into this. Then we have the Sterling. Sterling for me is like a pearly white basically, and it gives, so it can be applied very smoothly, but it also can be applied really sparse, and then you get like tiny sparkles, almost like Fenty highlighter, but Fenty highlighter doesn't have a base, while this one probably has a white base, so you get more like pearl white shade. And then we have the Silver Lining that I used on the outer side, and you can see a bit of it. It's more visible in the mirror and on my macro shots, but I wanted to show you that it's actually multichroming, and this is how it looks. It multichromes to the turquoise and green, and then to yellow from the other position. So what I understood from filming some multichromes, some of them have like round multichrome shifts. So like you change the position of the shade in one direction and it's directional, then it changes like that. This one is 360 because it will change in all directions. So whatever you are choosing, so from one to another, it's gonna go here, it's gonna go like this, there it's gonna go like this. It's changing a lot. So this one is a true multichrome. I really like how it looks. It's a bit more it's slightly flaking, but not too much, not enough to be noticeable, I guess. It has a very interesting formula still. I'm really drawn to it. I don't find it very emollient at the same time. It's a bit more dry, but not completely dry. Kind of, it's hard to explain right now, but you need to touch it to understand. And if you have other multichromes or single shades from Dieverune, you probably already know this formula, and I really like it. I don't know why. It doesn't crease on me. It can be applied normally. Like, it has all the good parameters of the eyeshadow that I'm usually searching for, and I'm just really into it. That's what it is. That's how it looks. That's how it works. Yeah. So these were the main ones. As I said, the Flakies are just stealing the show. They are super pretty. They are adding up to this look a lot. From this collection as well, I have on myself the highlighter in the Grim Frost. It has little tiny sparkles, but mostly it gives this nice frosted kind of look. It reminds me of the, you know, when the sun goes into the winter windows, and the windows have like different pictures made by the frost, and when the sun hits that, it's what it gives me. Like, I like to build stories, you know, I like to build worlds, kind of things that are actually giving you emotions. So I'm attaching a lot of things in makeup as well into the emotional part of myself. That's how I also build all of my little videos for products, because I try to capture like the essence of the thing. And the same with makeup. I'm trying to capture the essence of the collection with like trying to build up on that and trying to bring something fun and interesting into it, because otherwise, what's the point? After all, it's art, it's a way to showcase yourself, maybe to gain more skills in artistry and stuff like that. So to me, it's a pure pleasure to just try to show the world that I see in the collection of makeup products, even though it's just so simple. And also on my lips today, I have the Melancholy Lip Mud in Leiden. This was applying first as teal, but now it's more gray looking. So it's not actually gray, it has a bit of a blue in it, and at first it just pops up, but then it dries down slightly and it turns more gray. But I still think that it has that bluish tint to it, so you have to be careful about that. Just be aware that, like, the formula itself is really good. I do enjoy the new packaging. I enjoy the new applicator as well. For this one, by the way, this one works much better. So I had no problems with distributing the shade or doing anything. That was absolutely comfortable experience. So this is good. I approve. I enjoy that. So, so far for the look and for the collection itself, I think that is it. And what else do I have on my face? I have NARS foundation in Oslo and Mont Blanc mixed with a bit of House Labs. Last bits of the Sephora contour stick. Then I also have Kaleida's Pale Rose as my blush. To me, it's not that pale, but it is indeed rose. So as you can see, on the warm undertone, it's probably gonna be really pale and more cool. On me, you just get a rosy cheek, noticeable. I would have liked the Dream Walk or something lilac-y more, but we already used Dream Walk and I decided that it's time to get some switch, like at least a bit. So here we have a pale rose. On my lips as a contour, I used MAC Greige because it's kind of neutral. It falls into the grayish category. Greige is a beige and gray, and I thought that it will look good, more like cooling down for this lip product. So that's all I have. Highlighter I already described as well. That's everything I've created so far. It was really enjoyable experience. We have one more to go. I have no idea how I make that, but we are left with black sparkly bismuth, black sparkly gloss in bitter, and we have one shade in the palette that's still untouched, is also black and sparkly. How is this? I don't know. I'm just like connecting things, trying this, getting it together, and then I'm left with something that is also working together. It's not always like that. It has not always been like that. But it is like that now, and I am really happy about it, to be honest. So I will do my final look in shorts. You will also still be able to see it as a, not a tutorial, more like a process. And we will talk about the whole collection. We will talk about everything. So far so good, and see you in final thoughts. So this is the look I have created as a final one. I already did some intro and stuff, and now I'm preparing myself for a very long talk, basically. So we have the whole collection here. This last look is created using the Bismuth, the shimmery black shade with sparkles, like colored sparkles inside. Also, I used the shade that I said I will use from the palette, which is this black with silver sparkles as well. Shimmering. This black with silver sparkles is actually, I think, the same as we have in the gloss. The gloss called Bitter is also on my lips today, and I think I'm ready to give you some final thoughts. Maybe I will be looking outside just for the pricing, because I have the website open on the side screen, so I can see what exactly is happening there and how much it costs. So I think we will start with something really simple first, and then we will go further. So let's start, I guess, with highlighters. I'm trying to find the highlighters, just so you know. Two highlighters. We have Frostbow and Grim Frost. This is the collection outside, so the packaging has these little leaves. I'm not sure what the leaves are symbolizing in general, but there's also little stars, like twinkling, sparkling stars. The highlighter, both of them are the same. They are in the same packaging as here and as the highlighter itself. So both of them are 2.6 grams. 2.6 grams is not too much. Like sometimes you get an eyeshadow for 2 grams, but it's still bigger than typical pan. So this is a 36mm pan, non-magnetic. This is just glued into here. There are two of them. One is called Frostbow, which is 21.95 in euros. I'm gonna be giving pricing in euros just because the website shows them to me in euros. So this is a baby blue with some red and pink. It's mostly giving the wet effect, so like a frosted slightly effect. I really enjoyed how it looks, but you also can see little separate sparkles when you look up close. So from outside, from further away, it will be showing more like a silver highlighter. It doesn't give you a streak, so it doesn't really have a base, which is great, and you can use it practically with anything. So that's a good stuff about them. The second one is Grim Frost. It's separated in the middle with icy blue and champagne. So we have a champagne side, which is a very cool, interesting one, and we have the icy blue. They are not that different from each other, and if you mix them together, you will get also something similar to this. So at the end, I think you don't have to buy both of them. I would have taken this one, I think, because I kind of prefer it, and it also feels almost like two products in one. Both highlighters cost, like each highlighter cost 21.95, which is a bit pricey, but I can also understand for the grams and for the fact that it's like a split pan or a marble pan. But yeah, I think it's a bit too much. Like, I would prefer it to be a bit lower in price, but we're here, and the only thing we can get is probably 10% or 5%. I'm not yet sure, to be honest, what discount actually is going to happen, what discount Dieverune is giving as a influencer code, or maybe they will have a sale sometime. But anyway, I think only one is enough out of them, and I prefer this one more because this one is a bit more baby blue, this one is a bit more universal, so I would reach out for this one personally more. But they are very similar in effect, and I think you would still love it. I do enjoy both, and I'm really happy that I have both, but I don't need them both. So then moving on, we have the Flakies. We have two Flakies, which is a fun product in itself. The $14.95 per jar. I'm not sure what amount of flaky gel is in there. The gel itself reminds me of aloe vera with a bit of alcohol, probably. I'm not sure what this actually consists of. It's just what it reminds me by the texture. And there are flakes. So we have the fluorescence Flakies, which is slightly more yellow base. You have to be careful applying it onto the bare skin if you are cool toned. If you're warm toned, you will love it completely because it will blend with your undertone and it will only show the sparkles when you move to the light, which is kind of a cool effect, but I think it's a very, very specific product in itself. And this has to be you have to find the application or an event or some reason for actually buying flaky gels, the same way as the Dieverune Cosmetics potions, because I think they're very similar in formula. You have to be also careful when applying that onto the irritated skin because it dries down, and during this period of time of drying down it may burn if you have irritated skin. If you are normal, if you have normal barrier, if it's not disrupted or anything, then you will have no troubles, and this is a fun product, but I think it's too specific to buy it without a purpose. It's fun for sure. I like the Shiver Flakies a lot. It creates like little mirrors, like a sparkle shattered glass, shattered mirror kind of effect. This one creates an effect of fluorescence, like ultraviolet flake. Both of them give me a bit of a dragon vibe. I do enjoy this, but I would probably not have bought it, just so you know. It's fun, it can be fun, it's interesting product in itself, but it's very specific. $14.95 for each of them. So continuing, we have mascaras. Mascaras are not the first one from Dieverune. The first ones were launched with singles from Christmas collection. Merry Sparkle Mas they are called, and there we have white, red and green mascara. It's a very normal mascara. It's not like waterproof, not anything. It's just a regular good formula mascara. Each of the mascaras cost $7.95. We have the indigo blue, lavender and light gray. They are true to color. They will show up on your lashes. I am actually enjoying how it looks and how it applies. The silicone brush in them is also very nice, but it's very specific. If you're not wearing colored mascara, this is probably not a product for you. If you like to have fun things in your looks, then this is something that you can think about, because the formula is quite good. It smells like fresh mascara. I don't know, maybe you're not actually smelling mascaras, but I have a habit of doing that, and they smell like fresh mascara and they applied very well and they are wearable in general, but it's a regular mascara. And $7.95 for each of these tubes are absolutely normal. Like, it's a drugstore price of like L'Oreal or Max Factor or something like that in here as well. So I would have taken it if I needed a colored mascara. I did not use it in the scope of the video with looks because I generally prefer how the lashes, the black lashes, I have these black lashes clusters and I like how it looks. It's just my personal preference, but there are some applications, some cases when I need something like that and I do like to have it. Otherwise I would have used the water activated liner and now I can use this instead and it's gonna show up. So good stuff, very unnecessary but good stuff, very specific, let's say. Moving on, we have the Melancholy Lip Mud in the shade Leaden. It's teal. It's bluish gray when it dries, but it's teal when it applies, so you have to be aware of that, I guess. The formula is really nice. It's velvety, it's lip mud. Maybe you are already familiar with this texture, maybe not, but generally this is a very comfortable to wear thing and I do enjoy what it is, but it's not self-setting. It's just a velvet kind of lipstick. But it's nice and it's very interesting color and I think I will actually have some use for it because I do have a tendency sometimes to grab something more grayish, so I have a lavender-ish purple, I have a gray one, and now I have this one, which I like the most. The velvety textures and mousse kind of texture I like a lot because it's just so comfortable to wear. It doesn't dry your lips, and this is good. And the price for this guy is gonna be, let me find it. So there are lippies, and Leiden is 10.95 and it's 6 grams. So it comes in a box. The box is very stylish as well, and you have the name and you have the grams. Only here you don't have anything like that. You have a sticker with a name and pretty much that's it. So 6 grams is almost 2 or 3 times the size that they actually had previously. So they tried with the very small ones and now it's much bigger. This is a very similar tube to Unearthly Cosmetics lip oils or Gloss Gods lip oils as well. I think also blushes in very similar, but the applicator is different. This applicator is not the best, but for this texture it works. So it doesn't smell like anything really, just a bit of a chemically smell, but not very strong, and it's totally fine. So 10.95, good thing. I really liked it actually, so I'm gonna use it further. Now we have the gloomy glosses. We have gloomy glosses at the same amount, 6 grams per bottle, and we have these two as so I think one of the singles is actually like this gloss, and we have one in the palette that is black that is actually very similar to this. That's also the reason I paired them today together. I have a tendency to do that. So all of them are regular glosses, nothing too crazy about them. I'm not the biggest fan of applicator in these glosses because the application itself, it doesn't get a lot of products to you. Maybe on completely empty lips it will work, but I do have a preference of lining my lips first and then applying the gloss. Plus I'm applying it in a way that is actually covering all the edges and stuff, and it runs into the edges and it runs into your creases. But with these semi-transparent ones, it's not noticeable because, yeah, they are semi-transparent. They are absolutely fine. So you smack your lips, they are okay. This one is bitter that I'm wearing today. This one is a hoarfrost, which is like pearly sparkle. It looks a lot like a pearl to me, and this one looks like a black base with silver sparkles. I don't feel glitter in them. That's really good. And 6 grams for 10.95 is totally fine. The packaging is a bit more like you get a lot of fingerprints on it, clearly, but it's okay. Nothing too crazy. Maybe with time this lids will start to lose the silver, but I mean. So I didn't have any problems with these two. However, I applied it with a brush because it's kind of not giving too much. When you already have something on, then it glides normally. When you don't, then you don't have too much of output of the product, but it's nice product. 10.95 for it is not a big price. I'm enjoying this too, but this one is very specific. This is our greenish teal gloss called Obsession, and when I was applying it, it ran into all the creases that I have on my lips. I don't have a filler in my lips. I generally don't do anything to myself in these terms. If you have a filler, you have a much more smoother texture on the lips. You maybe not have texture at all, and that gloss will work for you better. But when you have a texture on lips, this will run into everything. And the most problematic for me personally is that it actually runs into corners. You need a liner with that. Otherwise it will just smear and just run down. Today I'm pairing it with the Dark Matter by Bella Beauty Bar, and it works nicely. So this is totally fine. I would prefer the gel liner actually, that is a bit more stable, and to not apply the gloss over the gel pencil. That way you can keep it within the lines, but because of my habits of how I apply things, how I like them to look, it runs into the corners. And this means also without the liner, it will be very hard to use this formula. Still possible, but yeah, if you want the color to actually show up on you, not just like a little hint of color. With little hint of color, there are no problems at all. But if you want the color to show up on you, you will need quite some amount of applications to reach to it, and Yeah, this is a bit tricky. This is a very specific color. I'm pretty sure there are lovers of such colors for the daily use as well, but this is the least favorite probably for me. I do enjoy the other three a lot more, and I would have bought maybe black and a lippy. So I have one gloss and one lipstick, but it's still enjoyable set of products. By the way, the whole set costs $38.95. They also can probably give you a discount. I'm not sure what discount is, like 5 or 10%, or maybe there will be sale, as I said, and then you can grab yourself something. So if I was buying it myself, I would probably have taken these two. I do like the milky glosses. It's just not always that I can find the application for them, but I am a sucker for a good black one, and I really like the velvety formulas, so these two are just my choice. So with the glosses and with most of the things we are done. We are only left with a couple more eye products. So we have 4 singles with this collection. 4 singles, starting with the most simple one is Sterling. Sterling, as I said, is quite similar to what we have in the gloss, and it costs €8.95 in euros. So not too expensive. Unfortunately, I don't have any information about how many grams are in there. I would assume that it's 1.3 or something like that, the same way as Cryptane has them, because the pans are the similar size and the amount of product looks quite similar. This is kind of, as I said, similar to this, but this is more dispersed in the liquid and this is more sparkly. So they're close, but they're not exactly the same. So Sterling is our white-ish base. I think it's white base that can be transparent, and we have white and silver kind of sparkles, like a snow. So it's more like a snow that you see, and it sparkles and it's looking wonderful. It's more of a drier formula, so you can see it looks also pearly. More dry formula, which means it doesn't crease that much and it doesn't have that much oil. That's a good thing, and I do like this one. $8.95, totally fine. Moving on, next, one of my favorite from this review as well is called Quicksilver. Quicksilver is $12.95, so a bit higher in price. It has different colored sparkles inside, which you don't see at first. If previous one was more of a sandy texture, this one is slightly more flaky. Not too flaky, so it's like not the absolute horrible like we sometimes know, but it's slightly flaky, I would say. It still works fine. It's not too oily, so everything is kind of fine with it, and the sparkles in here are very fun. And I like the lavender base, so on top of the gray from the palette, it looks wonderful, like, don't know, like little flowers. So it's still very frosty. It's still within this silver and cold theme, but I really enjoy it. Also wanted to say that if you take it out, there is a sticker on the other side of the pan. So you have a sticker here on the packaging and you have a sticker on the pan, both in palette and here in singles, that you can just know what exactly this shade is. So Quicksilver, also very good one. I did enjoy this a lot. Then we have Bismuth. Bismuth is also colored sparkles, a lot of interesting colored sparkles on grayish base. It's more of a gray blue, I would say. You can see them also on my eyes, and you can see that my makeup is not exactly black, which I also really like. So this one is not gonna be exactly black. This guy costs $12.95 for such a fun shade. If you are not a fan of darker looks like this, for example, then probably it's not for you, but colored sparkles are also really fun in here, and the base is not actually black. It's dark, but not black. Also a bit more flaky. You can see that when I tried to apply it with a brush and stuff, it actually loses sparkles, like particles of it, but not the biggest issue at all, and absolutely normal to apply. Slightly more emollient. Like, I think maybe the drying time was different, but it may also dry, or you can add a drop of alcohol, 95% at least, 99% ideally, and it it will be more dry, but it will be more flaky then as well. Right now it's totally good on its own, so good one as well. Then we have the silver lining. Silver lining is Multichrome, $12.95 as well. It has a blue base, like icy blue, something in that direction. Like it gravitates toward mint, but it's still this blue color. Silver lining has a lot to offer. So it has purplish lavender, then it has gold, then it has blue base, then it has teal and yellow, and it's a lot of fun. It also a bit more sparse, also a bit more flaky, the same as bismuth. So you get the texture and you also have this loose particles sometimes when you apply it with a brush or with your finger even. But it's still a fun thing, and the price for it is more than fair because such multichromes are not very often existing, and I just like it. It's not what I will use all the time, but it's definitely something that I will reach to. It's good, it's interesting. All the singles that I had so far from Dieverune are really good, both in the quality and in pricing, and by themselves they are just something special. And the final piece, let me show you some stickers before we go to the actual palette. These are the stickers that came with the collection. We have black ones. I'm not the biggest fan of stickers in general. Like, I love stickers by themselves, but I'm not very good at gluing them somewhere. So that's the only problem that I have, basically. So they are very beautiful. Look how they just shine all over. These are like little drops of magic. So it's gonna be really fun to use. But yeah, this just comes with the collection. And our final piece, the palette. Palette comes in the box, silver and cold, face and eye palette, with the artwork artist mentioned right on the palette. I do like these little leaves. I have no idea what they symbolize, but I like the little leaves. This is 19.5 grams, which means, what do we have? 19.5, 15 shades. 1.3 grams. I was on point, I think. So 1.3 grams per refill, totally fine. And we have the cruelty-free. It doesn't actually say vegan, so you have to be careful about that if it's important for you. Made in PRC, distributed by USA Dieverune Cosmetics. There is a mentioning about not intended to be used around the immediate eye area. This is because some of the pigments are not approved by FDA in the USA, but it's totally fine to actually use on the eyes. We all know that. So if you're seeing that, it's not like you cannot use it as an eye palette. It's fine. It's just for the legal purposes, I would say. Then we have the palette itself. Mine is already covered in sparkles because it's been laying here for the past week. So the palette is looking like this. It reminds me a bit of the dragon skin kind of, but I think it's just a faux leather skin texture. We have a bit of interesting stuff, and it shines also with this silver. On the back of the palette we don't have the information, so no repetitive information from the box. You have to keep the box to see the ingredients, to see the additional stuff, and it's not the most convenient, but that's just life. Sometimes this happens. So I like that it's very simple and it's very stylish as well. Kind of what I actually really like. Like, I enjoy black with silver stuff. I'm wearing a lot of silver jewelry, as you can see, and I wear a lot of black color in my clothing. So in real life I'm a bit more rock oriented, I would say. So we have stars and the mirror with the sticker, which is nice. It says "My beautiful one," and you are the beautiful one. And then we have the palette with very interesting design of leaves here near the pants. This is just looking so cool, and this is just looking so unique, interesting, and I really love this. The palette itself is more for the lover of cool tones. Clearly, you have to like cool tones, you have to wear cool tones, more grayish blue towards that area, to actually buy this palette. It doesn't have like a precisely just silver, but it has a lot of gravitating towards there. in that direction. So we don't have names, but we have numbers, starting with the number 1 here and going further. They are just numbered. There are no names in the palette itself, and it's okay. Sometimes this happens. I do prefer when the palette refills have names, because then I can name them, call them by the name when I'm using them, but okay, numbers there are. And I love this shade. I'm really fine with most of these. You can mix the purple out of them, which I did. You can mix the more turquoise, even though this one is a teal. It's not exactly green, it's teal. You can mix more turquoise, you can mix, as I said, purple, you can mix more light blue, kind of muted blue in that direction. You can mix a slightly lighter purple as well by using the gray. There are 2 shades of mattes which I had a bit of troubles with. It's this pastel mint and this pink. This one is kind of just mixing into my skin tone that it's not seen. This just happens. This is what I am. And this one needs a base to be actually seen. It also kind of goes into your skin and disappears there. Like, it's still there. You applied it, but it kind of goes away. It doesn't want to stay. You didn't think that it will stay with you whole day, did you? So this is the problem I had, and this is the solution for this is actually to use a white base or a colored base for that specific shade. That way you can preserve it on your eyelids. But other than that, the formula of mattes is really good. It was blendable, it was totally fine, especially on my base, which is right now Makeup by Maria Master Mattes Longwear Cream Eyeshadow. This is shade Bisque. Sometimes I'm also using the shade Sandstone, which is a bit more close to what I have as undertone in pink, but it has a bit more peachy to it. So this is a cream or like mousse to powder, and because of that I would recommend to also use this palette on the slightly powdered surface. But if you want it to actually glue to have the impact, then you need to use it on wet surface. What I would recommend to use with that as well is a lock-in base by Day Day Signature, because these are actually good bases. They have skin toned ones and they have black and white, so you can mix your skin tone, for example, or you can use just this. And also on black base, the Multichromes are really popping. So we have a few textures here as well. I think I counted like 3 textures primarily. We have also the Multichromes, so they are actually shifting from teal to purple, for example, or it has a bit of a pink. So they are all connected together one way or another. They are all working together throughout the palette, which is thought through. I'm just generally enjoying such palettes, and you can have the texture that is really smooth. So these 2 are really smooth. Dieverune Cosmetics, I think in singles, pressed singles, has the same texture, and it's really one of my favorite things to touch. Kind of weird sounding thing, but trust me in that. Then we have a bit more sandy texture. This one, as I said, is exactly like the gloss we have. So we have also the same colored silver sparkles in the black base. This is not exactly black, like not completely black. It also has a bit of a color to it, a bit more gray, I would say, like a slate gray or something darker generally. But it's a nice formula. I have it on my bottom lid. It's also very sparkly there. And we have these 4 that are more flaky, slightly more flaky, but once again they are not really emollient. So they are not oily completely, but they can give you a bit of flaky problems. So this one I think is the most emollient of them, the same way as we had with the shade Silver Lining. But I think this formula from Dieverune is pretty stable in singles and palettes, and it's totally fine to use. So if you like the color schema, if you like the color story of this palette, if you enjoy wearing darker, slightly moody kind of looks, something that I created, maybe something more frosted, something more wintry. If you love this, you will love this palette as well. I think the shimmers are absolutely gorgeous here, and I think the mattes are working really nicely as well. 15 shades, the price for the palette will be $57.95, which I think is kind of a fair price. in this scenario, especially considering that you can get a slight discount on that, or you can later get it on sale, as I'm repeating myself once again. So at first it seems like nothing interesting, but when you start working with that, it's actually a really fun and good stuff. And it's for muted girlies, gonna be perfect. You have a bit more neutral, so to say, and you have a bit more color. You can mix them together, you can do some fun things, but overall it's gonna be more muted, a bit more minty, this cold kind of situation. So yeah, this palette is for somebody like me, somebody cool toned in general, somebody who loves this kind of slightly more gloomy, gothic, rock oriented looks, and I think you will love it that way. These are all my thoughts for the whole collection of Dieverune Cosmetics that was kindly sent to me by the brand, which I really appreciate. This, you have no idea how much I appreciate that. And I did enjoy everything, but as I said, some specific products probably will be more fitting, some others are not. You don't have to buy the whole collection, which by the way, as a full price, cost 215.95 in euros. 215 for collection is kind of a lot, but I think Bizarre Botanicals was also around that price approximately. You can get on a slight discount, but I would recommend to get only the products that you're really interested in, like maybe a couple lip products, couple singles, a palette, something like that, mascaras, and the list, as I said, list favorite items for me would be the highlighters, because I think you need only one, plus it's a bit more pricey for my personal liking, and the very specific items are these flakies, flaky gels. But yeah, so that's all I have to say for now. Let's have a look on all of the looks that I've created with this collection, and I'm speaking a lot today. I'm just talking and talking and talking, so if you don't really like that, I don't know why you are staying still here. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is all I have to say. This is all that I liked, all that I found throughout this review. I really enjoyed doing this video. I am so happy to just generally be able to do that, and I will continue supporting the Dieverune Cosmetics for sure. If you liked this video, give it a like, thumbs up will be really appreciated. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe you have some thoughts, maybe you have something to share with me in the comment section. I would really like to read through. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying with me till the very end. This is very appreciated as well, and we will see each other really soon in a new video. Bye.